The reality no one expects people have a very specific image in their minds when they think about billionaires. They imagine speed. They imagine chaos. They imagine a man surrounded by screens, making rapid-fire decisions worth millions of dollars every second. They imagine pressure. They imagine noise. They imagine constant movement. But then they look at Warren Buffett, and what they see makes absolutely no sense. An old man sitting alone in a quiet room in Omaha. No chaos, no urgency, no frantic motion, just silence, hours of reading, hours of thinking, and a calendar so empty it almost looks like retirement. And naturally, the question forms, how does someone who appears to do so little achieve so much? The answer to that question will completely change how you think about work, money, and intelligence itself. The great lie of productivity: from the moment you enter school, you are programmed with a very simple equation. Work harder, get more. Stay busy, move forward. If you are exhausted, you must be doing something right. And so people build their entire identity around motion. They fill their days with meetings. They answer emails instantly. They chase deadlines. They optimize their calendars until every minute is occupied. And then they look at someone like Buffett and they feel confused because his life breaks the equation. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Busyness is not progress. Busyness is often a distraction from what actually matters. Most people are not paid to think. They are paid to respond. They are paid to react. They are paid to stay occupied inside systems they do not control. And the more packed your schedule becomes, the less control you actually have over your life. The real game, decision quality, there is a game being played beneath the surface. And almost no one realizes it. The average person believes wealth comes from effort, but in reality, wealth comes from decisions. Not how many decisions you make, but how accurate they are when they matter most. Think about it. An average worker makes thousands of small decisions every week. Emails, tasks, meetings, deadlines. But none of those decisions change their financial trajectory in a meaningful way. Warren Buffett, on the other hand, might make just a few major decisions in an entire year. But those decisions are worth billions. That is the difference. You are not paid for how hard you work. You are paid for how precise your decisions are under pressure. The 80% secret: reading and thinking. So what is he actually doing during those long, quiet hours? He is reading, not casually, not passively, but with intent. Annual reports, business histories, market cycles, human psychology, and then he thinks deeply, without interruption, without noise. To the outside world, this looks like inactivity, but in reality, it is the highest leverage activity that exists. Because he is not preparing for the next task, he is preparing for the next moment that matters. Imagine two people. One is firing constantly, reacting to everything. The other waits, studies, and fires only once. But when they do, they don't miss. That is the difference between motion and mastery. Addition vs multiplication. Most people are playing the game of addition. More hours, more effort, more output, linear growth. But Buffett is playing a completely different game: multiplication. He does not need 1,000 small wins. He needs one or two decisions that compound over decades. And that requires something most people never develop: the ability to wait, to sit in silence without needing constant stimulation, to resist the urge to act just for the sake of action. Because in the world of compounding, activity is often the enemy. The noise trap. Now here is where things get dangerous, because the modern world is not designed for thinking. It is designed for distraction. Every notification, every headline, every breaking news alert. They are not informing you. They are triggering you. They are designed to create urgency even when none exists. And every time you react to that urgency, you burn a small piece of your mental clarity. Most people spend their day consuming information, but very little of it becomes knowledge, because knowledge requires stillness, and stillness has become uncomfortable. So instead, people stay plugged in, constantly checking, constantly reacting, constantly draining their ability to think clearly. And then they wonder why they never see opportunities that others do. The blank calendar advantage there is something that the world has completely misunderstood. An empty calendar is not a sign of irrelevance. It is a sign of control. In most corporate environments, a full schedule is seen as success. But every meeting, every call, every interruption is a withdrawal from your ability to think. Buffett protects his time with extreme discipline because he understands something very few people do. Your attention is your most valuable asset, and once it is fragmented, your ability to make high-quality decisions disappears. Why he ignores the market. This is why he does something that seems almost irrational. He ignores the market, not completely, but strategically. He does not check prices every hour. He does not react to daily fluctuations. He does not follow the emotional swings of the crowd, because he understands that most of what happens daily does not matter long term, and reacting to it only creates noise in your mind. Instead, he focuses on what stays true over time: business fundamentals, human behavior, long-term value, because in the end, the market rewards patience, not activity. The fat pitch. Buffett once compared investing to baseball, but with one critical difference. In baseball, you have to swing. In investing, you don't. You can stand there all day watching pitch after pitch go by, and no one can force you to act. Most people swing at everything, out of boredom, out of fear of missing out, out of pressure. But Buffett waits for the one opportunity that aligns perfectly with everything he understands. And when that moment comes, he acts with absolute conviction. What happens during a crash? This is where the real difference becomes visible. When markets crash, most people panic. They react emotionally. They sell at the worst possible time. They make decisions just to escape the pain. But Buffett remains calm because he is not reacting in real time. He has already done the thinking. He has already built the framework. So when chaos appears, he sees clarity. Where others see disaster, he sees opportunity. And that is where wealth is truly created. Why this works: it is not about intelligence. It is about environment. He has built a life that protects his ability to think. No constant interruptions, no unnecessary noise, no pressure to act. And that gives him something incredibly rare: a clear mind when it matters most. How this applies to you? You might be thinking, this only works for someone like him. But that is not true. You may not have 80% of your day, but you have something. An hour in the morning, time on the weekend, moments where you can choose what you consume and how you think. The real question is simple. Are you using that time to upgrade your thinking or to escape from it? Closing the final truth: there are two paths. One is filled with noise, urgency, and constant motion. It feels productive. It feels important, but it leads to very average outcomes. The other path is quiet. It requires patience. It requires discipline. It requires the ability to sit and think. But it leads to something very different: clarity. And in a world full of noise, clarity is the ultimate advantage. Warren Buffett is not successful because he works more. He is successful because he thinks better. And the reason he thinks better is because he protects his mind. The question is, will you do the same?